The rain came down in sheets that evening, turning the quiet street into a river of reflected streetlights. Michael stood at his front door, wet hair plastered to his forehead. His work shirt soaked through from the short walk from his truck to the porch. He was 42 years old, a carpenter by trade, with calloused hands and the kind of tired eyes that came from raising a child alone. His daughter, Emma, just 9 years old, was inside finishing her homework at the kitchen table. As Michael fumbled with his keys, he noticed her. A young woman, maybe 25, standing under the eave of his neighbor's house across the street. She wore a light blue tank top, completely inappropriate for the weather, and her long blonde hair hung in wet strands around her shoulders. She was shivering. Michael paused. He'd been taught long ago by his mother that you didn't turn away from someone in need. But times had changed. You had to be careful, especially with a young daughter in the house. Still, something about the way she stood there, arms wrapped around herself, looking lost rather than dangerous, made him call out, "Miss, are you all right?" She looked up, startled. Even in the dim light, he could see she'd been crying. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother anyone. My car broke down about 2 miles back. My phone's dead. I just needed to get out of the rain for a minute." Michael hesitated only a moment longer. "Come on. You'll catch pneumonia out here." Inside, Emma looked up from her math problems as her father entered with the stranger. The little girl held her puppy, Biscuit, a small golden mixed breed they'd rescued 3 months ago. "Emma, honey, this is—" Michael realized he didn't even know her name. "Catherine," the young woman said softly. "My friends call me Kate." "I'm Emma," his daughter said brightly, in that fearless way children have. "This is Biscuit. He's 6 months old." Michael grabbed a towel from the bathroom and handed it to Catherine. "There's a phone in the kitchen. You can call whoever you need to. If your car's nearby, I can take a look at it in the morning when the rain stops." Catherine took the towel gratefully. "I don't want to impose. If I could just use your phone, I'll call someone to pick me up." "At least sit down and dry off first," Michael said. "Emma, would you put on some tea?" His daughter nodded eagerly and scampered to the kitchen, Biscuit trotting behind her. As Catherine made her calls, 3 of them, all going to voicemail, Michael noticed things. The way she seemed exhausted beyond just the physical. The way her hands shook slightly. The way she looked around his modest home, with its worn furniture and Emma's drawings on the refrigerator, with something like longing. "No luck?" he asked gently. She shook her head. "Everyone's either out of town or not answering." "It's okay. I can try a hotel or something." "In this weather? At this hour?" Michael glanced at the clock. It was nearly 9. "Look, we don't have much, but we have a couch. It's not fancy, but it's dry and warm. You can get some rest and figure things out in the morning." Catherine's eyes filled with tears. "You don't even know me." "No," Michael admitted. "But my mother always said that kindness doesn't require a resume. And Emma's here. I figure if you meant any harm, you wouldn't have accepted help from a house with a kid in it." It was simple logic, but something about it made Catherine smile for the first time. "Your mother sounds wise." "She was," Michael said quietly. "Passed 5 years ago, but I try to remember what she taught me." Emma brought out 3 cups of tea, managing not to spill despite Biscuit weaving between her feet. They sat in the small living room, and gradually Catherine began to talk, not about where she came from or who she was, but about smaller things. How she hadn't seen rain this hard in years. How cute Biscuit was. How Emma's drawing of a horse on the refrigerator was really quite good. "My dad says I should practice every day," Emma said proudly. "He says anything worth doing is worth doing even when it's hard." Catherine looked at Michael with something like respect. "That's good advice." "It's the advice my father gave me when I was learning carpentry," Michael said. "Some days I didn't want to measure twice and cut once. I wanted shortcuts. But he taught me that quality work takes patience." As the evening wore on, Emma began to yawn. Michael sent her to bed, and she hugged Catherine good night without hesitation, the way children do when they sense goodness in someone. Alone with Michael, Catherine seemed to struggle with something. Finally, she spoke. "Can I tell you something? And you promise not to treat me differently?" Michael nodded, curious. "My father, he's very wealthy. I grew up in a world where people always wanted something. Always had an angle. Tonight I had a fight with my fiancé. He said something that made me realize he didn't love me. He loved what my last name represented. What doors it opened? She took a shaky breath. I just got in my car and drove. Didn't matter where. When it broke down, I almost felt relieved. Like maybe I could just be nobody. For a little while. Michael was quiet for a long moment. You know what I think? I think you're not nobody. You're somebody who's trying to figure out who she really is. That's harder than any work I've ever done with wood and nails. Catherine wiped her eyes. How do you do it? Raise a daughter alone? Keep going? One day at a time, Michael said simply. Emma's mother left when she was 3, said she wasn't cut out for this life. For a while, I was angry. Then I realized that every day I woke up and chose to be Emma's father was a day I was building something real, something that mattered. He paused, looking at the photo of his mother on the mantel. My mother used to say that character is built in small moments. How you treat the waitress who gets your order wrong, whether you return the extra change when the cashier makes a mistake, whether you let a stranger in from the rain. The next morning, the sun broke through the clouds like a promise. Catherine's car was towed to a shop, but she didn't leave right away. She stayed for breakfast, simple pancakes that Emma helped flip. She played with Biscuit in the backyard, her laughter genuine and free. When a black car finally pulled up, driven by a stern-looking man in a suit, Catherine hugged them both. Thank you, she whispered to Michael, for seeing me. Not what you could get from me. Just me. That's all any of us really want, Michael said. 3 weeks later, an envelope arrived. Inside was a letter and a check that made Michael's hands shake. The check was for more money than he'd make in 5 years. The letter was simple. Dear Michael and Emma, you gave me something more valuable than you know. You reminded me that kindness still exists, that real people are more important than impressive titles. I've called off my engagement. I'm taking time to figure out who I want to be, not who everyone expects me to be. The enclosed gift is not payment. You can't pay someone for seeing your humanity. Consider it a thank you from someone who needed shelter from more than just a storm. Use it for Emma's education. Or fix up that porch I noticed needs work. Or don't cash it at all. The real gift you gave me doesn't have a price. With gratitude. Catherine. Michael read the letter twice, then tucked the check into his desk drawer. He'd think about it later. Maybe put it toward Emma's college fund. Maybe donate some to the shelter where they'd found Biscuit. But right then, Emma was calling him to see a butterfly in the garden, and that seemed more important than money, because his mother was right. The moments that matter most are the small ones, the ones where you choose kindness without expectation, the ones where you open your door to a stranger and discover your own humanity in the process. And sometimes